Hey everyone, welcome back to the seventh part of our staking DApp project. In the last part, we have connected the pool create function in the UI component. So the owner of the contract means the admin can create multiple pools and the user can stake their token. So we have done all the testing in the front end with the contract. So make sure to watch the last video to understand everything. Now we're going to go ahead and continue in our admin panel and build other component and other feature. So this is what we have. So we have done with that. Now we're going to simply come back to the code. Let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. And this is all we coded in the last video. So let's close this one. And now I'm going to come back and start working on this investing component. So we already have the data. So simply copy that one, come back here. And we have to open this investing component. Let's select that. Let's drag it here. And now we're going to simply receive the prop. So let's receive that. That's what we have. Now we have to import a couple of things. So let's call it internal import. And this import is coming from our button component. It's coming from regular component / button. So we got that. Now we can simply come back here. We'll import our notification component. We'll say from / notification. So these are the two components we're going to use it. We have these two components. We can simply close and open different tabs, working fine. Now we can simply come back here and start working on our JSX. So let's take a class, tab, pan, fade. It will have an ID called tab2. It will have a role. Let's call tab panel. So we got our main div. Inside that we'll take another div. It will have a class called row. Inside that we'll take another div. It will have a class called column12. Inside that we'll have another div. It will have a class called profile. Inside that we'll take a UL. It will have a couple of classes. So let's add that. We'll have a nav dash tabs, section dash tabs, section tabs dash left. And inside that we're going to have the component. So before we add the component, let's add an ID. Let's call this to section dash profile dash tabs1, and role is going to be our tab list. So we got all the classes ID and role. Now we can simply go to UL and we're going to simply render our button component. So in that we have to send the props. So let's send this to, call it active. In this component we're going to display all the activities happening in our smart contract, like claim reward, withdraw, that's all. So we have the name. Let's come back to the investing and you can see the component is reflecting fine. Now we have to give the tab ID. So it will be called F1 and we'll have our class. So we'll say style class and we'll say active and save it. And that's the only component we're going to have it here. Now we have to build the component. So this looks fine. Simply replicate it and you can add multiple components, but I'm going to have only one. So let's come down here. We'll take a div. It will have a class called tab content. It will have an ID called tab dash F1. We'll have a role called tab panel. Inside that we're going to display the component. So we'll take a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called column12. Inside that we're going to take our dynamic block, and this data we have in the form of array. So that's what we can simply render. So we'll take this pool details and we can access the notification. So all the notification we have in this notification variable as a form of array. So if you come back here, go to the data section, there you will find this is all the data section we have designed, and this is what we are returning at the end. So this is the one. This will contain all the notification array. So that's what we are simply calling here. Now we have to simply call this map and we'll call it notify and index. And we have this notification component, and that's what I'm going to simply call. It will have a index, then we'll have a notify data, and it will have a pool details data as an entire prop. So that's the only data we have to send into this. This looks good. And that's the only thing we have to do here. Everything is looking good. Right now there is no notification is available. That's why you can see no data is rendering. But all the states are looking fine. Now what we can do is let's start working on this notification component. So come back here. We can go back here in the admin panel and you will find that we have this notification here. So this is the one which we have to select. Select this one, and in that we're going to receive the props. So let's take this bracket and simply paste the one we have copied and remove this one. So this is the prop we are sending in the notification component, and that's what we are importing. And now we have to import a couple of things. So let's import this use effect and use state. We got that. Now we can simply come back here and go to this app.js, and we need a couple of environment variables. So we're going to simply copy this one. Actually we need a lot. So we can simply come back here. We need the currency. For the time being, let's keep it the currency, and we have to import list component, and that's coming from regular list. So we got that. Now we can simply come back here and let's take a variable, state variable. We'll call it percentage. And the reason why I'm taking this state variable, because our notification will have a percentage bar. So based on the user purchase, reward or deposit, we have to display that percentage. So that's what we're going to calculate here. So let's take the state variable, and by default it will be empty. Now we have to build a small function. We'll take this use effect, and inside that we're going to calculate the percentage. So we can come here and we'll first take a variable. Let's call this calculate percentage, and we want to execute this function. So inside that we'll take a variable and we'll call it amount. So we already have the data in this notify about a single notification, and from there we can able to have the access of the amount. So what is the amount the user have deposit, what is the reward he got, what is the token he withdraw, that's all data we'll have in this amount. So once we have the amount, then display that. Otherwise we are going for the safety purpose for 0. We have the amount. Now we can simply come back here. Let's take a percentage new and let's build that calculation. So let's do that percentage calculation. So we'll take the amount, and that's what we have to divide with 100, and we have to multiply with 100. So in that way we can able to get the percentage, the new percentage. We got it. Now we have to build a if statement. We'll say new percentage if equal to 0, then we have to simply execute this. So we'll say console.log, and we have to throw this message that token balance is 0, cannot calculate percentage. We are just building this guard class, so if anything goes wrong we can simply prevent this percentage bar, else we can simply calculate the percentage and set in our state variable. So we already have this set percentage, in that we can simply pass new percentage. Simple logic. So this function is going to simply calculate the percentage and check for the 0. If it has greater than 0, then we're going to simply set that into a percentage variable. So we got that. Now we have to simply execute this function. So we have to do this based on the changes. So we can simply come back here and we can take a variable called timer. In that we're going to use this set timeout. I hope you guys know what is set timeout. In that we have to simply pass the second and the function which we want to execute. So I want to execute this function every 1 second. Got it? Now we can simply come back here, and here we have to simply return, and we can say clear timeout, and in that we can simply pass the timer. That's very simple JavaScript. I'm not doing any hard fast work. I'm just building a simple JavaScript which can calculate the percentage, and I want to calculate and run this variable every time there is change in notification, because we'll have an array and we have to calculate for every single array. So I want to run this every single time we render the array notification. Got it? So this is the entire function we have. Looks fine. Now we can simply come back here and start working on the JSX. Right now there is no data available in the notification, so it might be not reflect in the front end, but let's build the skeleton for our code. So let's start working on it. So we'll take a key, in that we can pass the index, then we can take a class. Let's call this one to be deposit, not deposited. Okay, so some of you have made a mistake, like you have added e, so it's a deposit, deposit. Then we can take this div, it will have a class. Let's call this deposit dash name. Inside that we can simply click on this investing, and you can see right now it's not deflecting here because we don't have any data, but when the data will come, it will automatically reflect here. So let's work on the JSX. Now inside that we can take a span, it will have a custom style. In that we can say color is going to be white, and we'll have a class name, it will have a deposit dash icon, and we'll have a deposit dash icon dash dash, and we'll have a custom index, because here we have to display multiple colors. So we have 3 different color, red, blue, green, and based on the index value we have to change the color. So let's say if index is equal to 0, then I want to display orange color, else if index is equal to 1, then I have to display, let's say, green color, and by default I will go with blue. So this is the 3 color which I'm using. It's going to simply render it. Got it? Now that's our dynamic color, and inside that we're going to simply display the currency. So that's what we have. Now we can simply come back here. We'll take h3. It will have a class called deposit dash dash title. In that we have to simply display the data. We'll say notify dot type of. So this type of will contain that what kind of transaction the user have made. It's a withdrawal, claim reward, or deposit. So we got that. Now we can simply come here. We'll take this UL. It will have a class called deposit dash dash list. Inside that we'll take a list, and this is the list we're going to build it. In that we have to send the props. So it's going to take name and the, let's call this pool ID, and it will take the value which we have inside this notify. So we'll say take a template literal, and in that we can simply display the ID. So we'll say notify pool ID. So that's the list we have. Got it? Now all we have to do is to simply replicate this couple of times, and we can simply display the ID. So we'll say date, this will be the amount, and this one is going to be our user. So we have all of this information in the single transaction in the notification. So that's what we can display here. So let's change the data. So let's remove this one, and this will be user, and this one is going to be amount. So let's change this to amount, and this one is going to be date. So we already have that in timestamp with a small t. Okay, so we got all of this, and let's look good. We got that. Now we have to build the percentage bar, means the progress bar. Now we can simply come back here. Let's take a div. It will have a class called, let's take a template literal. It will call progress bar dash dash, and in that we can simply build our dynamic classes. So we already have this. We can simply copy this dynamic block and we can paste here. In that way we can have multiple class, multiple color progress bar. We got it. Now we can simply come back here. We'll take h3. It will have a class called progress bar dash dash title. Inside that we can take this, and we can simply display the data. We'll say notify amount in the percentage. Got it? Now we can simply come back here. We'll take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this progress. It will have a role called progress bar. It will have an aerial attribute. So we'll say value. It's going to be now. So what is the current value? I'm going with the hardcode data. So let's call this 75, and it will also have the value minimum, and that we can say 0, and we'll have a maximum value as well. So that's going to be 100, because that's going to be the range of our progress bar, 0 to 100. We got that. Now we can simply come back here. We can take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this progress bar dash strapped, and we can take this progress dash bar dash animated. We'll have a custom style. Let's call this width is going to be our percentage bar, the one which we have calculated. So we can simply pass it, take a template literal, and pass our dynamic value, and we can simply pass our percentage we have calculated, percentage, and let's give this percentage sign. Perfect. We got our bar. Inside that we can come here. We'll take a span. Inside that we can display the percentage we have calculated. Let's convert it to a string, so we can display, because the percentage can be in decimal point. So I want to simply restrict and remove the decimal point. I want to display the actual number. So let's take the slice method, and I want to take the first 2 character, because it can be 1, 2, but we don't want to have a decimal. So that's the approach I'm taking. Look good. Now we can come back here. Let's take a div. It will have a class called progress bar dash dash values. Inside that we'll take a span, and we'll take a class. Let's call this progress dash dash value, and we'll have progress bar dash dash value dash left, and here we have to display the starting. So I'll go with 0 percentage, and we'll have a 100. So I'm going to simply replicate this. This is will be 100, and it will start from right. Let's call this right. Perfect. Now we can simply come back here, and we'll take a class. Let's call deposit dash dash progress. Inside that we'll take a span. It will have the token, and we can take a p. It will have our pool details. In that we can display the reward amount, reward token symbol. Got it. That's what it's reflecting here. I hope you guys can see that how things are coming together. We are displaying all of this data. Now we have to start working on the list. It's going to be a very simple one. So we can simply come back here. We have that in the admin, and here we have simply click it. Now we have to receive these two props. So it's going to be name and the value. And it's going to be a one line of code. So what we can do is we can simply come back here. Let's take this li. We'll have a name. We'll give this, and then we can simply display the value in the bold tag. So we'll take this. Let's call this value, and that's the only thing we have to do. Looks good. If we find that we need to make any changes, we can definitely come and do and add more here, but for the time being, just keep it as it is. So I hope you guys have understood that how we have built this. Now we have done with this. Simply close this one, close this one. So we are done with this investing, in that we have built the notification and the link. Now let's make on the full screen, and let's see. That's how things are looking. This is the deposit, this is the investing we have completed. Now we're going to start working the next component called staking. So all of these are done. So the pool one is we have already done it. This is left, and we'll start working on this. After that, we'll work on transfer, then ICO. So let's start working on the staking. So we can come back here, and we already have all of this data. So we can simply get this data. We can come back here in the staking, and that's what we can receive as a props. So let's remove this one, and remove this one. So we got all of that. Now we're going to start working on the staking component. So first we have to receive a couple of things. So let's call this use state, and we can come back here in the pool, and we have to take this all. So simply copy all of this, and that's what we have to take it here, because we're going to provide it. So let's close all of that, and okay, let's bring it back, and let's paste here. So we need all of these components. We have already developed it. Now we can start working here. So we'll take this state variable, in that we can take the token, and it's going to take two information, the amount and the token. So token and amount, these are the two data we're going to keep it. Once we have that, now we can simply come back here, and we can go back to the pool, and we need this. So simply copy this function we have developed, and that's what we can import here. All we have to do is to change the function name. So we can change, we can call this one, let's say sweep, because this particular company is going to withdraw the token out of our staking contract. So like we already have the function here, we have to simply provide the data. So simply copy the function and paste here, copy this pool, and that's what we can send. So replace it. So this is the object of token we are passing, and that's the only thing we have to do here. This is fine. And now we can start working on our staking straight away. This looks good. So let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. So this is the dashboard, this is the investing, and this is the staking. So right now we don't have anything in here. So let's take a class. Let's call this tab pan fed. It will have an ID tab -3. It will have a role called tab panel. Got it? Inside that we can take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this row. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called column 12. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called profile. Inside that we'll take a UL. It will have a couple of classes. So let's call nav dash tab section dash tab section dash tab dash left. It will have an ID. Will have section dash profile dash tabs 2, and it will have a role. Let's call this to tab list. We got this. Now inside that we can take our button component, and it's going to have only one button. So let's send the prop name. It's going to be the sweep, and you can see it's reflecting here. Now we can add the active class. So we'll say we'll have a tab is going to be F4, and we'll have our active class. We'll say active. So we got it. Now we have to build the body. So this is the button. Now we have to build the body. So we can come back here. We'll take a div. It will have a class called tab dash content. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called tab dash pen fade show and active, because that's what we're going to display as a default. It will have an ID. We'll call this tab dash F4. Role is going to be tab panel. Inside that we can take a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that div we'll take a title tag and we can send our props. So we'll say withdraw staking token cryptocurrency. So this particular function which we're going to allow, admin can call and they can withdraw the token frac. So that's the title. Now we have to simply take our input field. So we'll take this input field and let's send all the prop. We have already done the hard work. So let's give the size. The size is going to be 6. Then we have to give the type is going to be text. We'll have a title. Let's call this to token address. We got it. Now we can take the name. It's going to be amount to. Then we'll have a placeholder. This will call address. Then we'll have a handle change function. We'll say E. And we have to simply update that. So first we're going to take this stake token. We have to deconstruct the token and then we have to take the token variable and that's what we have to update. So e.target.value. We got it. So this is our first input. Now we have to simply copy and that's what we can paste here. And here we have to display and change this to enter amount which we want to withdraw. This will be 3 and here will be the, let's say, the current token is available in the staking contract. That's balance I'm going to display. So let's display. We have the data, pool details. From there I can able to have the access of contract token balance. So T, token balance, and I can display the symbol of the token which I already have. So I'll go into the deposit token and from there I can access the symbol. So there you can see we have a 0 token available in the staking contract and it's reflecting fine. And we can simply call it amount. Looks good. Now we can come back here and we can call our click button function and send the 2 props. So it's going to take the name, will be withdraw, and it will have the handle click function we have already developed on top. So in that we can simply call the calling function sweep and we can simply pass the token object. That's it. And that's the only thing we have to do. Let's make on the big screen and you can see it looks absolutely perfect. We can able to withdraw the token from our staking contract. So we are done with these 3 component. Now we're going to work on the transfer. We have seen all of things looks good and this is the one we have to work. Now come back to the code. Let's close this one, close this one. Now we have to simply come and work on the transfer component. So we need all of this prop, simply copy that one and that's what we can simply receive. So we can come back here in the transfer and let's receive the props. Simply change this one, change, remove, remove. So we got all of this prop, looks fine. Now we need couple of things. So we can come back to the pools and we need the components. So simply copy this one and this is the exact component we need and paste here. So we got the component. Now we need this particular function. Simply copy this one and that's what we can simply paste here. Got it. Now we're going to do a little bit modification. So we need to import couple of things. So we can come back here. We'll take this use state. That's what we have. Now we can take a variable and it will say amount and we'll have the address where we want to transfer the token. So we'll say transfer address. These are 2 variables we have. Now we can call this particular function token transfers, copy and paste here. Got it. And here we have to simply copy amount and this is the address. This order is very important. Okay, so simply copy and change here and here and that's the only thing we have to do. The function is ready. Now we can start working straight away on our JSX file. So let's make on the big screen side by side. And this is investing, staking, and this is the transfer one. Click. Right now we don't have anything, but we can start working on it. So let's take a class. It will have a tab dash pan fade. It will have a ID tab 4. It will have a role called tab panel. Got it? Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called role. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called column 12. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called profile. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called row. And inside that we'll take our title tag and we can display our title. So we'll say transfer. There it is. You can see it's reflecting fine. Now we can come back here, take our input field and we're going to display 2 input fields and actually 3 input fields. So let's send the props. So the size is going to be 6. Type is going to be text. We'll have a title will be available supply. In that we have to display that how much token is available in our staking contract currently. And let's send the name is going to be method 1. It will have the, we have to display this particular input field because this input field is only for displaying the data. So we'll say disable is going to be true. Then we can display the value. So let's say value, and we already have the data. So let's take that template literal. We'll access the pool details and we'll say contract token balance, and we have to simply convert into a string. So we can slice it down to 8 character, and currently I'm getting this error. Okay, that's weird. Okay, no problem. So we can come back here, and if I go back to the index, we have the data. So this is the exact name I have given, contract token balance. Copy and let's paste that, but still I'm getting this. Let's format this one. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, bring it back. Let's cut here, and it's loading the data, and you can see it's working, but somehow I'm not getting the data. Okay, something weird is happening here. So let's come back here. Let's take the another variable like the symbol. So we'll take this deposit token dot symbol. So in the same way, I'm having the same issue in the symbol as well, but the data is there. Why it's happening? So I have noticed one thing, like I can see the problem. So I have to wrap this data in a bracket. So let's give this bracket and give the bracket. Now it will fix the issue. So this is the problem we have. Whenever you receive any prop, you have to give the bracket, and in that you have to receive it. Now it will work fine. So let's bring this back, and you will see the balance is reflecting absolutely fine. So we got our input field back, and all of this data looks good. And now we can simply convert it to a string and simply slice it down to 8. Got it? Now we can simply copy this one, paste here, and let's change the variable. So it's going to be for quantity, that how many tokens you want to transfer. The method is going to be the amount for, and remove this value. Here we have the remove this one as well. We'll have a placeholder. We'll say amount, come back to the transfer. You can see it's reflecting, and why the data is still reflecting? No problem, because we have to reload the page. So let's keep working. This is fine. This looks good. If I come make on the big screen, you can see the moment I will reload the page, everything would be change. So you can see the quantity amount is reflecting. So now let's make on side by side. Now we have to attach the handle change function. Let's call this E. In that we have to update the amount. Got it? Value. Now simply copy, and now we have to update the address where we want to transfer. So this time we're going to say 12. This will be the contract / wallet address, and this will be our address, and here we have to change the set transfer address, and looks good. Now we can simply display our button. So we'll take this click button, send the prop, name is going to be called transfer the token. We'll take the token symbol, means TBC, and we have to add the functionality. So we'll say handle click is going to be our function, calling function. In that we have to simply send the amount and the transfer address, and that's the only thing we have to do here. So this particular component is ready. Let's make on the big screen, and you can see it looks absolutely perfect. We have the 3 input fields, and all of things are looking good. This is good. This is the pool address. You can go to different tabs. Looks good. Now you can see the current token available in the contract is 0 in all the pools, and the available supply which we have to provide as an admin of the contract, so the user can claim the reward. So the additional supply, the surplus, is 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the token to our, and this is the available balance I have in my wallet address. So I can do that very easily. We have developed the function. So come back here in the transfer, and I can simply come back to the code. I need the address of the staking contract. So let's go back to the environment variable, and I need the address. So this is the token, and simply copy this address where you want to transfer. So I'm going to transfer to the staking contract. So simply copy that, and that's what I have to paste here, and I have to send 100 token. Let's click on this transfer TBC, and you will see we are transferring 100 TBC token, means the function is working fine. Now we have to simply confirm the transaction. You can check the transaction in the pending state. Sometime it takes a little bit time. Okay, so just give your time, and you can see in my case it's happened very quickly because I'm using the power of editing, and we have successfully transferred the token. So let's see one more time. Here we are reloading the page, and we can come back here. I have noticed that the page not reload, so I can do one thing. I can come back here in the transfer function and I have to return it. So make sure to return this one. Okay, so we can do this. We'll take a return and let's take a variable called receipt, and that's what we have to return. So simply copy and paste and return from this particular function, and it will work fine. So whenever you will do the transfer of the token, it's going to reload the page after the transaction get completed. Now let's come back. I had a small problem in my recording. So when I was doing the recording, I noticed that somehow my recorder got stopped and I continue working on the project. So I have to again re-record everything from scratch from the part where it got stopped. So that's why you can see the token we have transferred, like we have transferred 100 token, but we have 90 because I just play around with the data which not got recorded. So I'm recording one more time. So let me give you a quick walkthrough about the code which I have covered when the recording was stopped. So everything is working fine. You can see this is all we have coded. Every single thing is working fine. This is the investing, staking, transfer, pool, and this is all we have. We have to work on the ICO token. That's what we're going to work. Now let's come back to the code and let me show you that what are the changes you have to do, and make sure to compare your code. Make sure to compare your code, each and every function which I'm going to show you. So you will be on the same pace. There is no need to make many changes. I have done the changes in one or two places in the spelling. I can't remember it. So that's why I'm going to the entire source code of the functionality we have built. So let me give you a quick walkthrough. So come back here in the context, go back to the constants, and make sure to just try to compare your code, what you can see in the screen. So this is the import we have done. I haven't made any changes here. This is fine. This is fine. And this is the function we have, all of the function. If you open this one, and here I have done the changes, so you can see that like earlier we were not checking this condition. So when you will deploy your ICO contract, there is no token is available for ICO cell. You have to update that. So to prevent any kind of error, here we are taking this approach. So I'm taking the 0 address. We're going to call this particular function get token address. If it has the token, it will return the token address, but if it don't have the token, it's going to return the 0 address. So here we are building a condition that if the token address is 0, then we don't want to call this particular function. But if it's not 0, then we have to call this particular function. And here I have done one changes. It was capital T, I made a small t. I hope you guys have understood. This is the only changes I have done. This if statement I have built, and this is the function which was in capital T, I made a small t. And that's the only thing you have to do here. The rest to be fine. Okay, it was capital, I made a small t. Now the rest will be fine. Make sure to pause and check. So this is the load function we have. Now let's come here. This is the 2ETH. I haven't make any changes here. This is fine. This is our token contract. This is our contract file. Compare it. And this is our ERC20. So we have the provider. This is the Ethereum object. And this is what we are returning. Got it? Same. And here we have token ICO. So this is what we have. Then we have the 0 address. We have built this if statement, the same. This is the one, and this is what we are returning at the end. This is our token ICO contract, same, and this is our token ICO contract 20. I hope you guys have compared the code. Now we can go to the index page. So let's close this one, come back in the indexed, and this is fine. I haven't made any changes here. So this is exactly the same logo. This is our notification, and here we have the convert timestamp function. Make sure to compare it. This is what you have in way. This is we have parse error. We have the short address. We have the copy address. Looks good. And here we have the contract data address. It's exactly the same. I haven't done any changes, but make sure to compare it. Okay. So we are getting the contract. We are getting the staking token as well. So remove this one. Here I have built the if statement. We are getting all this notification. We are getting the pool. This is good. We have all the pool and we are returning it. Here we are simply calculating the total deposit. We are simply calling our reward token and getting the information about the tokens, and at the end we are returning the data. Same. Got it? I hope you have compared. Now we can see the deposit. Make sure to check one more time. This is the notify. This is the converting. So we are converting into way. Then we are checking for allowance. Then we are checking here, building if statement. So if there is enough allowance, we have to simply approve and continue ahead. We are calculating the gas and simply making the transaction. I hope you guys compared. Now we can see the transfer token. This is fine. This is the token contract. You can see we are getting converting it, and that's what we are simply making the transaction. Looks good. This is the withdraw. We are displaying the notification, getting the contract, calculating the gas. So make sure to call whatever you have called to your contract. So I have called contract object, so make sure to call the exact name, okay, in all the places. And this looks good. And we are making the transaction, and this is good. Then we have the claim reward. This is also fine. We don't need to do any changes here. And we have all of that. Then we have this create pool, which we have already tested in the last, so we don't need to do anything in here. It's absolutely fine. Then we have this modify pool. This is good. Got it? Perfect. This is good. Receipt. And here we have this sweep. And I noticed that I made a mistake here. So I made a mistake in the contract. So instead of calling contract object, I call only contract. And I also did a mistake in here. So here I was calculating the gas perfectly. When I come to calling the function, it was modified. So I have changed the function. Okay. So make sure to call this particular function as WWP. And this is very common when you will copy the any other function and try to do the modification, you will make this kind of mistake. It's very normal. Okay. So that's what we got it. Now we have this particular function called add token. We don't need to do anything in here. Everything is good here. It's exactly the same. That's good. And here we have the buy token function. This is the contract. Then we are checking the token details. So make sure to get token detail. Okay. Small t, not capital T. But I haven't done any changes here, I guess. And when you are working on a project which is such a big, this things happens all the time. This thing happens. Good. This is the withdrawal function. It looks fine to me. No problem in here. We have it. We are getting the contract, then we're getting the token details, and then we are making the transaction and withdrawing. This is the update. So this is the update function. Check that. We have the contract, calling the right method, calculating the gas, and passing the data in our contract. So this is fine. Don't need to do anything in here. And this is the last function for updating the price. And we have already tested this features. It's working fine. So it looks good. Context is good. Index is good. Now we can simply come back to the pages and go to the admin page. And here I have done one thing. So you can see these are the things we have imported, like this component, function, address. And I'm calling this function whenever there is a change in the vault address. So that's why I have passed this address here. Make sure to provide, okay, address. So when there is a change in the address, we're going to simply call this particular function, and the rest should be fine. The rest should be fine. Now we can simply close it, come back to the component, and we can simply go to the admin, and there we have this admin panel, and this is all the component we have built. So I have to do a small change in the token component, which I have done, and I wanted to show you. So this is fine. Don't need to do anything in here. So come back here. This is good. We are passing the actual data, and here we have to add the percentage. So I forgot to add the percentage. So make sure to add this percentage. So you can see it's reflecting here. So add this percentage. This is fine. We are calling the right spelling, and here you have to call the right variable name. Contract token balance. Okay. Make sure to call the right spelling. Come back to the token contract. There we have to do the changes. One changes we have to do. Come back here. We can go to the token, and there we have all of this. We don't need to do many changes. You have to do one small changes. And here I made a small spelling mistake in this contract token balance. So make sure to give the right spelling. Contract token balance, so it can reflect the fund. You can see it's reflecting the fund. And the rest would be fine. We don't need to do much here. Now we can come back to here, and this is good. That's the fix we have to do. Now we can come back to the, let's say all of this looks good. Auth, this is the one we go to work, Investing, this looks fine, and pool, all of things are good. This is fine. This is fine. So I hope you guys have followed and did all the changes which I have explained you and compared your code. Now we're going to start working on the ICO token contract. So let's start working on it. Simply copy this and get into the folder component, and let's receive the prop, and we can start working straight away. So let's build the functionality. So we can come back to the pool and we can get this component, and that's what we can paste. We have to receive couple of things from React, use state and use effect. Then we have to import our address, which is coming from our wallet provider. Then we can simply come here and import the functionality. So it's coming from dash dash context dash cons, and in this we're going to simply call this load token ICO. Is going to give us the details. Now we have to receive the function as well. So index, and in that we need all the function for updating token price and withdrawing token. So let's call this update token price, and we'll have a withdraw token withdraw. We are getting all of these three function. Perfect. Now we can simply come back here and we can import our currency from our environment variable next public dash currency. You got it? Now we can come here and take a couple of variables. So we'll take the address, which is coming from our wallet provider. Then we have to take the token details. Then we'll take this call update token, when we'll have a update price. Now we have to build a function which allows us to fetch the information from our ICO contract. So we'll take this use effect, and in that we're going to build a function. So let's call this const load token. It will be enhancing, and in that we have to build the function. So we'll take a variable called token, and we have to call the function called load token ICO. And then once we get the data, we have to set that data in our state variable. We'll say token, and we can simply console log out the token. And here I have noticed, like, instead of bracket I have to give this, remove this and give this. Now perfect. So once we have that, now I'm going to simply call this particular function load token. We got it. Now we have to call this function every time there is a change in the address. So that's the first set of hook we have. Now we can simply come back to the, let's say, context. If you go back to the in constants, there you will find that this is the function we are calling. This is the one which is going to give us all the details about the ICO contract. So right now I have already updated the token. That's why it's going to give me the detail. But if it's not there, it's going to simply not execute this function. If I do the inspect element, you can see our hook is running absolutely fine. We got the address of the token. But let's start working and build the function. This is fine. We got the address. Now we can simply click on let's object, and here we have all the details. You can able to find the token details as well. That's all we have. So let's come back to the code. Now we can come back to our component, close this one, and this is what we have. Now we can start working on the functionality. So we can go back to the pool, and from there we can simply grab this particular function boilerplate. So simply copy this one, and that's what we have to call it. So we're going to build three function. So let's build that. This will call update token. In that we have to pass the address. That is to be fine. Let's change this to update token, and we have to copy the function, and that's what we can call it. And that's the only things we have to do here. Simply copy and paste here, and here we have to simply change the variable. So this will be price, this will be update price, copy and paste here, and here we have to do the changes, copy and paste here. So we got our update token, update price. Simply copy this, and that's what we can simply call here. Okay, this is the one. So we got this update token and update price. Now the last function we have to build for withdraw all the token. So simply remove this. We are not receiving any prop. We have the function call p, and that's what we can call it here. And let's change this to token withdraw, and that's it. Looks good. Got it. We got all the hook and the function, and now we can start working on the JSX. So we can simply make it side by side to see what we are exactly working on, and this is what we're going to work next. So take a class. Let's call this tab dash pen fade. It will have an ID called tab 6. Role is going to be tab panel. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called 12. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called profile. Inside that we'll have a, and we can simply come back here. We actually build this particular boilerplate, so we can simply come back here in the pool section, and this is all we need. Simply copy this entire one UL, and that's what we can paste here. And here we can do the changes in the ID. So this is fine. The ID is going to be the, let's say, call this 2, and this is fine. We need this component, button component. All we have to do is to simply change this to update token, and the ID would be 9, and this will be called update token price, and we have to change the ID to be 10. Simply copy and paste one more time. This one is for withdrawal. This will be 11, and let's change this to withdraw token, and you will see all of these tabs are looking fine. So we got this button. Now we have to build the component, and actually we have the component, so we need this entire tab content. Simply copy, and that's what we can simply paste here, and we have to do the changes. Obviously we'll get this error, so because we don't have the array, so we have to remove this portion. Like this portion we have to remove it, and this is what we have, and we need to remove couple of things. So first we have to change the tab content is going to be there. This will be there. I have to change the ID to be 9 F9, and I have to change the title. So this will be update token address in ICO contract. Got it? And here we have the input field. So I only need one input field. So let's change this to address. This will be, let's call to crypto, and actually change this to our actual address, which is currently available in the contract. So we'll go to the token details. From there I can go to token, and we'll display the symbol and the name. Got it? And I need to simply get this detail. So simply do one thing, simply remove this, and we can update the token. So we'll say set update token to be e.target.value, and we have the token address. Got it? And we have this couple of extra field which exactly we don't need it. So what I will do, I'll simply remove this, close all of this, and remove this one. Got it? Here we have the button. So let's change the button name. We'll say update token, and we have to change the function. So we already have the function called update token, and we have to pass the actual data, means update token. Got it? And this function is ready. Our type is ready, and this is the exact thing we're going to do one more time. So we have this tab content. Inside that we have this tab panel. So simply copy this one and copy this, and let's call this 1, and this will be 2, and paste here. And here we have to do the changes. So this time we're going to simply remove couple of classes, so active, and we remove the show, and we have to change the ID. So this will become 10, and here we can change the title price, and here we have to say price. This will be price 1, and here I can simply remove this, and I can display the actual token price, and I have to display the currency. So this is good. I will remove this, and I can display the currency, and you can see currently the token price is this. I set up when the recording got stopped, but I will show you this function one more time and update the function, update the price. We got that, and here I have to simply change this to update price, and change this to price, and change the function name. So we'll say price, and change this update price, and our function is ready. You can go to different tab for updating price, updating token. Now let's build the withdraw token function. So we can simply come here, copy this portion, let's give this third and paste here, and we don't need this, remove this one. We can change the title. This will be 11, and we have to remove this call withdraw token from ICO contract. Change this to withdraw all token. You can see withdraw all token reflecting fine, and now I have to simply change the function, and that's it. So that's the only thing we have to do here. You can see, let's make on the big screen, and everything is working fine. So we can go to different tab, and we can update the price and all. That's all, looks incredible. So you can come back here, And let's try to check the functionality. So if I come back here, go back to the index, there you will find that this is the function we're going to call it, which will update the price and the token address. So let's close all of this open function, and this is all we have. So let's try to update the token address. So this is the function we're going to call it, and it's going to do the works. So we need the address of the token which we want to allow in the ICO. So I will simply go with this deposit one. Now I can simply come back here and paste and click on update token. It's going to make a call to our smart contract. You can see it's calling perfectly. Click on confirm, and the transaction is taking place, and you can see it's in the pending and it's completed successfully. So our transaction got completed, and if you come back to the ICO, you can see the token is reflecting fine because I have provided the same address. So that's why it's reflecting the same details. So our token got updated successfully. If you come back here, and now we have to check the price. I have noticed one thing, that the message is not reflecting. So simply copy this one, and that's what we can simply paste here on top. So when the function will get called, it will display that the function is getting called. So we'll say calling contract. Simply copy this one, and that's the same thing we have to update here as well. So let's paste here. Got it? Perfect. Let's reload the page. It's reloading, and we got it. Now we can come back here, and this time we'll try to update the price. So this is the current price, and I want to update it to this one more zero. So let's click on this update price, and it's going to make a call. You can see the message is displaying, and click on confirm, and we are simply updating the price of the token. So here it's calling, and the successful transaction is completed, and we got the price updated. So if you come back here in the price section, you can see the price got updated. In the same way, we can able to withdraw the token, but currently I don't have any token available in the ICO contract, so I cannot able to withdraw and call this function, but soon we're going to test that. So everything is looking good. Everything is looking good. So we are done with this entire function. Let's close this one, and now we have to work on other components. So if you come back here in the pool section and go back here in the pool list, here we have this update API. So if I click on that, it's going to give me this error because this component is not available, and that's what we're going to work now. So let's come back here, go back to this. This is the pool we have, and if you come down all the way here, this is the one we are clicking, update pool. So make sure you have to give the ID properly. Okay, this ID is very important. I forgot to add this hash. You have to give this exact ID, this, and the rest should be fine. Now we have to work on this update API model. This is what we're going to work now. So we can simply come back here. We need the props, simply copy, and this is, we don't need that. Simply remove this, copy this, and that's what we can receive here. Give this bracket and receive the prop. Let's format this. We give this comma and remove this. So we got the prop. Now we can simply come back here, receive couple of things from React like use state. Then we have to import couple of things. So it's going to be our icon, like close icon, and we can simply come back here. We'll take a state variable, and this will be amount, the new amount which user will update. Now we can simply come back here, and we already built this particular function, so I can simply copy, and that's what I can simply call it here. So we got it. Now we can simply copy the function, and that's what I can simply provide here, and we have to provide the data. So I have to provide two data, pool ID and the amount. So let's change this function name to be modify pool, and let's pass the data. So we can say modify ID and the amount. This order is very important. Okay, first you have to provide the ID, then you have to provide the amount. So simply copy and paste here and paste here. So that's the function is ready. Now we can start working on the JSX. So we can come back here, and we already built the boilerplate. So before we do that, now we can simply come back here in the modify pool, and this is the one we go to call it and working on it. So this looks good. We have all of this fine. Close this one, and we can come here. We can start working on the JSX. So let's close this one. Let's take the class. Let's call this model auto fade. Inside that fade, it will have an ID. Let's call this model dash a pool. It will have an Arial attribute. So we'll say Arial labeled by. Let's call this model dash a pool. Arial hidden is going to be true. That's our block. Inside that, We'll take a div, it will have a class. Let's call this model dash dialog. We'll have model dash dialog dash centered. Inside that, we'll take a div, it will have a class called model dash content. Inside that, we'll take a div, it will have a class called model dash dash content. Inside that, we'll take a button, it will have a class called model dash dash close. It will have a type is going to be button, and it will have a data base is going to be dismiss, and it will have our value is going to be model. Then we can display this Arial label is going to be close. Got it? Inside that, we can display our icon. So it will have a class called TI, TX, and in that we can display our close icon. And looks good. Now save it, come back, and you can see we are getting this. Simply reload the page. It's not an error, and you can see it's working fine. Now we can come here and we can click on this. It's going to open this model. So our model is working fine. Now let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. Let's bring it here, and now we can start working on the rest of the code. So come back here, we'll take h4, it will have a class. Let's call this model dash dash title. It will say invest. Inside that, we can take this, we'll take a p, it will have a class called model dash dash text, and we'll say update staking, and we can display the id which user have selected to update, and we can say APY percentage. There it is. So currently I have selected number 1 ID. Now we can come back here, we can take a div, it will have a class. Let's call this model dash dash form. Inside that, we'll take our label, it will be amount to. It will have a class. Let's call this form dash dash label. Inside that, we can take our enter amount, and we can come here, we'll take a input. Type is going to be text. It will have an ID called amount to, and we'll have a name is going to be amount to, and we'll have a class called a pool dash dash input. Inside that, we can have our custom class. So we'll display the transparent the background. So we'll say background color, we can call it, let's say transparent, and here it is, looks perfect. Now we can display the placeholder. So we'll say amount in percentage. So 1, 2, 3, that's what you can add. Got it? And now we can simply get the value. So we'll say on change, and we have to simply update in our state variable, set amount e.target.value. Got it? Now we can display the button. So we can simply come here, we'll take a button, it will have an on click function. We'll say our function calling modify pool, and in that we can pass the data like pool ID and amount. Let's add the classes. So we'll take a class, it will have a form dash dash button, there it is, and it will have a type is going to be a button, and we can display our text. We'll say update APY, and perfect, it looks good. And that's the only thing we have to do. You can simply come, you can see, you can click, it was 500, now I want to update to 300, and click on this update, and it's going to make a call to our smart contract. Simply confirm and just wait, it's loading. Let's make on the big screen, and you can see the transaction in the pending state, and the transaction got completed, and we have modified the pool. So if you come back here, go to the pool list, you can see 300. Earlier it was 500, now it's 300. So it's working fine. So we are done with that. All the models which you can click and you can update simply. Perfect. Now we have to work and this particular component, ICO buy component. So that's what we're going to work it. So close it, come back here, and this looks good, no problem we have. So this is what we have to work. So I'll simply copy the prop, and that's what we can receive. So come back here, go back to this ICO cell, and that's what we can receive as a prop. Perfect. And let's quickly import a couple of things from React. So it's going to be our youth state. We'll have a use effect because we have to get the token details. Then we can import our account from our Web3 provider. So we'll use this use account. Then we have to do internal import about the functions. So this is going to be from our, first we'll import the icon. Then we have to import the functionality. So we'll say load token dash ICO. It's coming from our constants, context slash constant. Then we'll say index, and this will be buy token. We got this imports. Now we can simply get the component. So we can simply come back here in the ICO, and we need this one, this hook, which is going to reload the data. So simply copy this one, and that's what we can paste. And I can see everything good. Now we can come back here, and I need few variables from here as well. Simply copy, and that's what I can paste here. Got it? I need one more for quantity. So let's take this quantity, the quantity user wants to buy. So by default I will go with 0. Got it? Looks good. We got all of these variables. Now we have to build the function which user will click and buy. So let's copy this one, boilerplate, and that's what you can call it. And let's change the variables name. So this will be buy token, and we have this, paste here, and we can simply pass the quantity, passed here in all 3 places, and the function is ready. Now we can start working on our JSX. So we can simply come back here, and we already built this in the update API model, and we're going to take a couple of things from here. So we need all of this, copy, and that's what we can simply paste here. And here we have to do the changes. So instead of a pool, we have to call deposit. So let's change this to deposit 1, and this will be a deposit 1. Got it? Now we can come back here. Let's assign an index. So we'll say tab index is going to be -1, and the same thing I want to apply on this as well. Perfect. Now we can start working on the JSX. So we already have this. So what we can do, we can simply copy from here till here. From this, let's paste here, and we can simply close the div 1, close one more time, and close one more time. Save it. So we got this. Now we have to do a couple of changes here. So this is fine. We don't need to do any changes here. This is good. This is good. This is good. And this is good. Now we have to do the changes in the text only. So I will simply take our token like symbol, and we can say ICO token, and just change this one. So we'll say participating in the, we'll take a span, ongoing ICO token, and we'll say sell. That's what we have it. Now if you come here, click on this, you can see the component is reflecting fine. Now we can simply make on side by side. Let's minimize this, make side by side, and drag here. Got it? Now we can work on the JSX. Pretty good. So come back here. Let's take a div. It will have a class model dash form. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called form dash group. Inside that we'll take a label. Remove this one. We'll say class is going to be our form dash label. Inside that we can take the ICO supply, and we can display the supply. So we already have that data, so we can go into this token balance, and we can display the symbol as well. So we'll say token details token dot symbol. So we got that. Now we can come here, we'll take this input field, and we will remove this. We'll take a class, let's call this one to be form dash input. It will have a placeholder. In that I want to display the balance. So let's take a template literal. So we'll take this token details and go to the token balance. So this is going to be my balance. That's what I have. I have to simply convert it to a string and simply slice it down to 8. So let's say slice to 12 this time. Got it? And we can display the logo of the token. So we'll take token symbol. Perfect. So this is my balance. Now what I will do, I'll simply take this on change, and I have to get the token value from the input field, and that's what I can set in the quantity which user wants to purchase. Now I can simply come here, I can simply copy this portion and paste here, and in this I'm going to display a couple of data. So first I'm going to remove this one, and this will be called output, means the user money will pay for buying the token. And here I have to do the changes. So instead of going with like this, remove this one, and this will be not there, and here I can display this display because I don't want to allow the user to interact with this, and this looks good. Now I can simply change this to be the amount. I have to calculate that how many token user is buying, and I have to show the actual money they're going to pay for making the transaction, buying the token. So let's convert this to a number. So let's take this template literal, convert it in number, and this is the price of the token, and I want to simply multiply with the quantity which user wants to buy. So I'll get it. So currently 0 is the default value, so that is reflecting here. Now that's what I have. What I can do is I can display the currency instead of the icon. So I can simply come here, let's import our currency, and that's coming from our environment variable next dash public dash currency. We got it. Simply copy, and that's what we can simply provide here. So let's give this currency, and there it is. Currency is reflecting fine. Got it? So this, let's change this to pay amount instead of output. Perfect. And now we can simply display the button. So we can come back here. Let's call this button. It will have a class called form dash button. It will have a, let's say, type is going to be button, and it will have a on click function. So on that we can simply call the function we have built. So we'll say calling buy token, and we can simply pass the quantity, and in that we can say buy token, and we can display the token symbol. There it is. Okay, there is a problem in our CSS class. Okay, there is only one space, we have to give two space, and there it is. And that's the only thing we have to do. So we are done with this entire admin panel. Now you can see, reload the page. Here it's reloading the data. We got all of these details. You can click and you can see the fund, and you can see this much money I have to pay for buying one token. If I click on this buy, it's going to make the transaction. So let's click on that. You can see we are buying and we are paying this much fund. Click on this confirm, and the transaction is the process. Once the transaction will complete, we will buy the token. So we have bought the token successfully. Now you can see, if you click here, you can see it went down to 99. It was 100, but now it's 99. So we have bought that. So this is working absolutely fine. This is the entire dashboard. This is the investing section. Right now there is no data available for investing. Then we have the staking. So you can able to withdraw the token from the staking contract if you want. From here you can transfer the token to the ICO contract or the staking contract. Any address you can transfer the deposit token. From here we can see the pool. So you can able to create pool. You can see all the pools we have. You can click and you can update. You can simply control your ICO contract. So this is the token address and token price. So let's update the token price one more time, and you can see it's working. Confirm, open it up, and the transaction is pending and completed successfully. So we have updated the price. Come back here, you have, see, the price went up. Now you can see we have this much token because during the recording when it was stopped, I transferred couple of token to the ICO contract. So now I'm going to simply withdraw this token. So click on this, and it's going to withdraw all the token we have in the ICO contract. So simply click on confirm, and you will see the transaction in the pending, and transaction is completed. And we have withdrawn the token from our ICO contracts. Looks perfect. You can see right now we have 0 token. So every single thing is working fine. Now the moment you will try to buy, when the token is not available, it's going to throw the error that there is no balance is available. Perfect. Now we have this admin panel, and I have noticed one thing. So simply close all of this, come back to the admin head, and here you have to make it container. I made a spelling mistake. It's CONTAINER. So this is the spelling you have to fix. Got it? This is the admin. Now we can simply come back to the admin. This is all the component we have built. Everything is looking good. So we have done with the entire admin panel. Perfect. And this is the component we're going to build. And this is the ICO, this is the header and footer. That's all we have built. Looks good. So close this admin. Now we can simply come back here, and let's come back to the pages. And now we're going to start working on our home page. But now I want to show you one thing. So come back here. Let's change the account. The moment I will do that, you will see the data will change. So let's reload the page, and you can see this is what normal user will see. Okay, I can see there is a problem. Why the shadow is not reflecting? So we can redirect that very easily, but this particular component shadow is not reflecting. So let's come back to our code and see what's exactly went wrong. So we can come back here in the auth. So open this one. We can go to admin, and from there we can have this auth. And I have noticed one thing, that this is the problem we have. So we have to wrap this in contained. So let's make it dash dash, and that's what we have to simply close the div, save it, and perfect. Now it will display our shadow, and there it is. The shadow is reflecting. Now you can click and you can redirect to the home page. Perfect. Now the moment I will reload the change my account, you can see it will automatically trigger, and it's going to do the validation, and I will have the access to the admin panel. Every single thing is looking good. It's 100% responsive for all the devices. You can see that's how it's going to look on a mobile device. You can simply open, close, click, and you can buy the token. You can go to different tabs, staking, transfer, that's all tab. This is the dashboard. You can see all of these deals are looking absolutely fine. This is the investing, this is the staking, this is the transfer, okay, this is the pool. We can click on this, we can go to the pool, click on this pop-up model, and we can update. Perfect. Now we can go to the token ICO. Perfect. We can go to the different tab and slide it down. Looks good. So we are done with this entire admin panel. I hope you guys have followed along with me, and even you can see our navigation is working fine. So click here and we will redirect you to the home page, and that's what we're going to work now in the next video. So let's come here, let's close this one, and let's close all of this, and let's come back to the home page, and this is what we're going to start working in the next video. So let's move to the next video.